What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Golden Dice Podcast. Flock sign is on
It's
faster than it
on.
normally is.
I'm getting
He had it,
better.
he had
I'm
it, he
getting
had it
better.
timed up this time.
Yeah. I'm Jack. I'm your host. We're back with another weekly spoiler recap video, and with me I have Scott and
What
Flock.
up?
How are you, gentlemen?
I don't know. We were all just basically napping, so we're all half asleep.
Yeah, I was forced to be here.
Yeah. Well, Flock's the one that actually reminded us, so.
I was
That's
hoping
true.
you were to say no, we weren't doing this.
I mean, worst case is like I would have just ripped it like I did last week because I forgot again. But that
I'm just kidding.
this would have at least been better. Last week I did it like 11 o'clock at night and then had to process it and upload it, and I was like, I'm tired.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll go ahead and jump right in. We got two new leaders, new rare base, a whole bunch of stuff to look at. So the first one that we got is Kit Fisto. He's a 6-cost ground unit, just aggression. He is the Smiling Jedi. Love that tag. 7 attack, 6 health, Force Jedi Republic, has Saboteur, and then also has a coordinate. On attack, you may deal 3 damage to a ground unit. He is a rare, and certainly reminds you of Seven Sister. She has Saboteur, and then when she hits the base, she can deal 3 damage to a ground unit. Then he's got Saboteur, so he can just swing 7 to base and deal that. Big question, as we've always been saying, is how good is Coordinate? He may be single aspect, but he is rare, so he's a little bit better than that, but I'm still not in love.
No, yeah. I mean, it's at least he has a keyword beyond coordinate, but I kind of agree. Like, still isn't like making me that excited.
Yeah, I mean, a 6 for 7/6 is not bad with the Force tag and then Saboteur, but yeah, it's like there's some other better 6 drops, so yeah, it depends on how good coordinate is, because that on attack with the coordinate seems pretty good to me. But now it depends on like, okay,
Like
is
if
it
you're
gonna be? Yeah,
playing light side, are you going to play him over Wrecker?
yeah,
Because I think
Yeah.
Overwhelm is probably better than Saboteur.
Yep. And then also it's like, also at the 5 slot, you get Poe, and then in set 3, if you really need like the Force Jedi Republic, Anakin's coming as a 5-drop 6/6. He has a coordinate ability too. His is a draw card. But you know,
I could see a world where maybe you really do want the force tag, like basically throughout your deck, and you're gonna swap over to maybe like that Anakin at 5, and then maybe this Kit Fisto at 6 in the same vein as a Wrecker. I could see that happening. It really depends, like if that deck can function and create enough clones for the coordinate to be a thing.
yeah, I feel bad always saying that, but it's just like, all right, like when will we know when coordinate is good and things like that?
After we start playing with cards.
But yeah, well, and we'll come to a card later too, the yellow villain one that we'll talk about, where it's like that. I'm like, I need something like that in coordinate for me to like get really excited.
Yeah.
Not quite there, but yeah, Kit Fisto, Smiling Jedi, love the artwork. I feel like all these Jedi ones in hyperspace are going to be absolutely just sick looking.
Yeah, I think that's going to look really good in hyperspace hyperfoil variant, just because you got like the battle of it's like
Geonosis, first one. Looks
yeah,
like they're in the arena.
it looks like the arena behind them.
Yeah. Cool. All right. On
And
the next
he's
one.
one of my favorite. He's one of my favorite Jedi.
Yeah.
He's like Shane's favorite Jedi.
I mean, the arc with him on Mon Calamari or whatever.
Yeah.
Where is he? Yeah.
Look, he parries like the Emperor for a whole 2 seconds.
Yeah. His arc going into Grievous's lair is pretty sick too.
Mm-hmm. All right, next card.
Scott, take it away.
More Geonosis Arena. We've got Bloodsport. It is a 3-cost aggression event. Fringe keyword. Deal 2 damage to each ground unit. I guess. I don't think it gets played in non-limited formats.
Yeah.
I just unless like decks with battle droids or with coordinator really like running rampant, I don't know that 3 damage or 2 damage to ground units is just going to be enough to be relevant. It really doesn't take out much of anything.
Yeah, I mean, I could only think where I see good is in like limited, where you're trying to stop someone's, clones or battle troopers to, swarm the battlefield. So, or even put it in there when you know you're going against it. If there is like a separatist deck that's really good, then this would just keeps them off their exploit or coordinate.
But super sick hyperspace.
Yeah.
Yeah, the art
Yep.
looks great.
The to me, this is almost like another point though in the exploit direction, because like coordinate, you want to keep them on the board, but like even in limited, like obviously if you play this and you both have tokens, everybody's is gonna die because
Yeah.
it doesn't specify opponents. So it's like if you're the exploit deck though, and your opponent's a coordinate, you could exploit, play something big that doesn't die to this, and then blood sport
Yeah,
and kill all their tokens.
you're cashing in your tokens as opposed to needing them on the table.
Yeah. But. All right. On to the next one. Flack.
We have the Elite P-38 Starfighter, a space unit that is cunning and villainy. 3 cost, a 3/2 separatist vehicle fighter, and it has when deployed / when defeated, you may deal 1 damage to a unit. I actually kind of like this. So nice 3/3/2, and you get to deal 1 damage to a unit when played, when defeated. So I mean, it's not as good as our the 6 cost one. I always forget what it's called,
Ruthless
but
Raider.
it's similar to Ruthless Raider in the aspect of that, and 3/3/2 in space. I don't hate it at all.
Yeah.
Especially get to ping some of the stuff that you want to do that might only have 1 damage or anything. So yeah.
That's a pretty good answer to like. I mean, I know it's within the same color, but like if your opponent plays 7 Fleet Defender and you play this, it's like a nice answer to ping off the shield.
Yeah.
And we'll see a little bit more synergy and can come back to it when we see Jango of like dealing damage with cards and stuff like that, getting to exhaust. So,
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I do think it's cool that like it harkens back. So the P-38 Lightning is an actual like World War II fighter plane that looks like this, and then they got like the P-38 Starfighter. I always got a kick out of it.
Yeah, that's cool. Cool. On to the next one. Mace Windu. We got our aggression, heroism, rare leader. Vapod Form Master. Is that how you say his form?
Yep.
Vapod. Action, pay 1, exhaust him, deal 1 damage to a damaged enemy unit. Then, if it has 5 or more damage on it, deal 1 damage to it. He's Force, Jedi, Republic, epic action. If you control 7 or more resources, deploy him. He is a 5/8, and when deployed, deal 2 damage to each damaged enemy unit. Interesting. Decent. I mean, I know he got like thrown around as like a counter to Kira, but he comes out 2 turns later, so it's like not a direct counter. But I mean, after playing Kira a bunch, I can't really dismiss like when deployed effects. So I think it's a little hard to be like, pay 1 to deal 1. Like, I'm not like crazy about him, but part of me is like, I feel like I want to play him because just his ability to come out and be a 5/8 and deal 2 damage to everything that's already damaged seems pretty good.
Yeah.
I feel like it just says too many times that's already damaged. I think there's like it requires you to do some work beforehand, and it's like how many times are there going to be things on the board that are close to death? I mean, it happens a lot. Like you get like Vader ambushes in, hits a 5-drop or something. Yeah. Maul ambushes in, hits something that drops him to 2. So it definitely can be relevant, but it's very hard without having played it to see when that ability will be relevant, the when deployed, and then also like how much you can get out of his ability. I do like the fact that his ability can deal 2 damage if you've taken the thing to like 5.
Yep.
So that's definitely like super useful for finishing off those big ambush characters like a Vader, like a Maul, and stuff like that. Like a Poe when it comes out, does its ambush thing, or like a Wrecker. So yeah, we're definitely going to see what that. I mean, he's a 5/8. It's a very good stat line. We've already seen that on Vader. Makes it pretty hard to deal with for a lot of things. But unlike Vader, it's not like he can take over. It's not like he can take over the game and then like keep taking over the game with that extra 2 damage. It's
Yeah.
a one-time thing. So we'll see if like how much you can really get out of that when you pop them. It's good to see like a light side leader unit that's a little bit later in the like coming out a little bit later and a little bit more controlly.
Yeah, all we've had is Hunter coming out as a 5'8", and he this
Who?
ability is a lot more
Something.
relevant.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Mace Windu could have all the caveats possible, but his ability is deal damage, which we know is
Yeah.
strong ability.
Yeah, I can see this right now. Just looking at it, the way I'm gonna play is I'm gonna like the action more than the flip side right now. Like I like the action, be able to deal the damage where you want to do it, and then if you want to finish something off, you have the chance to finish something off that once you get the 5 or more damage on it. So I like that aspect of it. I guess the when deploy is going to be more so killing any squishy stuff that you've already kind of trying to take care of, or anything mid range that you've already started killing. Because you can obviously do this like before you flip, you deal damage, and then you can flip and deal 3 or 4, whatever you want to do. And then then it's basically coming on. He's gonna be a big boy. Give him some lightsabers, get the Mace Windu's lightsaber on him, and good to go.
Whoa, whoa! Spoiler alert.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. No, I'm there with like the damage, pay 1, deal 1, maybe deal 2 is certainly interesting, and like with how good ambush has been, I feel like that leader ability as like a constant answer to ambush could be pretty nice. Yeah.
Yep.
I love the artwork. They got his lightsaber right too this time.
Yep.
All right. On the next one, and we are going to do what Flock referenced. I put this back to back. So Scott, you can do the
We're skipping the base.
lightsaber. I mean, we'll do it next, but made sense to talk about
Okay.
this.
That's fine.
All right, we're gonna talk about the lightsaber then.
Yeah.
Mace Windu's lightsaber. 2 cost, aggression, heroism. Attached to a non-vehicle unit when played. If attached unit is Mace Windu, draw 2 cards. It gives a +2 in attack and a +2 in HP, and it is an item weapon lightsaber. Yeah, 2 cards is a lot. That's a lot of draw power. That's a full turn worth of draw, and you're getting like a decent stat bump for a decent price. So I definitely think this will see play in Mace Windu decks, especially. Well, I mean, like this is only going to see play in decks that are running like Mace Windu in one form or another.
Yeah.
Yep.
It almost has to be with the leader though sometimes, because I feel like the other Mace just dies very fast.
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, you could have a deck that runs both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can even see this being in like I've been working on that turret deck again. Have Mace Windu in there, and I can put the lightsaber on there because it can go on. If it needs to go on turret, it gives him a 2/2/2, and I'm cool with that. And then when you have Mace Windu out there, you can always slap this on him too.
Yeah, it certainly helped. Like in that, red's getting access to just a 2/2/2. Like I know green's kind of had that. I mean, it hasn't really like made the cut. Like I'm just thinking, isn't academy training like pay 2, single aspect green, and then it's a 2/2. Like that really hasn't gotten played, and that is almost more like if Mace Windu is not your goal to get it on, academy training is always better because it's not non-vehicle. You can put that on anything.
Yep.
But I mean, yeah. So I mean, obviously, just slapping like a 2/2 on your leader, I think is pretty beneficial, whether or not you draw the 2 cards. So, yeah, I mean, like turret. If Sabine wants a budget Darksaber to help their 4 cost stuff, she could be a 4/7 or whatever. But.
I think this is pretty much reserved for Mace Leader, and it will occasionally end up on Mace Unit if that just happens to be in the deck too.
Yeah. Cool. Flock.
All right, am I doing the base?
Yeah.
Pal City. Each leader unit you control gets +0/+1. Okay. +1 health. All right.
I think yet again the blue rare base is the worst of the bunch.
Yeah, I don't know if it's worth 4 damage to your base for +1 health.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of anyone like it doesn't. doesn't really stop anything. I mean,
It stops like if you have a 7 health leader, bumping that leader up to 8 is definitely relevant from stopping it from dying to certain like ambush effects, like a maul coming in and stuff like that. 8's much harder to kill than a 7, but I still also don't necessarily know if I like it.
Yeah, and I feel
I
like
feel like it
most
could have been
decks
like
that
28 health. I feel like maybe a 2 point
yeah.
bump down would have been acceptable for something that only affects one unit on your board, unless you're playing Twin Suns. But if the base was overpowered in Twin Suns, who cares?
Yeah. And I just think most of the decks like that are splashing blue, like none of them really care whether or not they're lead. Like there's the Han 2 blue. I don't think they care at all about Han being a 3/7. I know there's the Bosk blue. Do they really care about Bosk being a 4/7? I know there's the Boba blue. I
You
mean, do they?
especially don't care about those things going up to 7. 7 is still like the number that most decks can deal with easier.
Yeah, I mean, there's Boba blue too. So I mean, that hits the 8, but I don't even know if I
Put his
care about
armor
that.
on him. Like,
yeah.
if you really want to make him live forever, just put his armor on him.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think it's just weird, and I just think most of the decks that are splashing blue end up just wanting it. It's almost like the person who wants it the most is Churret, but then like I don't know, just running double blue doesn't feel amazing in his regard.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I feel like if you're even running blue, you're already kind of running more of a control-y deck, and do you really want to lose 4 health? So, and you're probably not trying to necessarily win off your leader, because you have like that Vader blue deck that just doesn't care about the leader, where sometimes Vader never even gets deployed to like the very end. So, um, I'm just thinking a lot of decks, if you're running it, you don't really care about your leader as much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool. Next one, Twice the Pride, 2-cost upgrade, aggression. When played, deal 2 damage to attached unit. +4 attack, +0 health. It's an uncommon. It has the innate trait. I mean, it piques my interest. It certainly does. Obviously, like grit units too, but you obviously want to be extremely careful about when you're doing this, so you don't just get like 2 for 1 because you brought your health down to get an easy trade off of an ambush, or you put them in range of like a takedown or
Yeah.
easy make an opening or something like that.
Yeah, it being a double aggression obviously limits the number of decks that it can go into, but it is kind of like interesting just because of the stat bump that we're talking about, like +4 for 2
Yeah.
is a lot. Yeah.
And there's not a lot of shields, if any, in double aggression. So it's like there's not even necessarily a line of like play it on a shielded unit, so that gets +4, and I don't have to take the damage at all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it is interesting, and like it could be pseudo removal because you can put upgrades on anybody. So if you're in a pinch and you're double red, you can play this on your opponent to deal 2 damage to it to kill it.
That's not the worst usage of something.
Yeah. Artwork's amazing though. Probably my favorite part of the card.
Yeah, it looks
Big
sick.
fan of that.
I don't know. From far away, his face looks a little weird to me, but maybe closer up the card will look better.
Yeah. Got to get in your hands.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. On the next one, Scott.
Equalize. This is a 3-cost event. It is double vigilance tactic. Give a unit -2 for this phase. Then, if you control fewer units than the unit's controller, give another unit -2/-2 for this phase. Yeah, this looks great. That's like a pretty big, type of event. We've already seen like a few of these -2/-2 for the phase cards get played. They're good counter to certain things. And the fact that you can do this like twice if you're playing like kind of a vigilant style control deck, a lot of times you're not going to have units on the board, so you easily could just take something -2/-2 and then give the same something. Oh no, it's give another unit.
No, yeah.
So yeah, definitely something that I could see play to kind of like keep the board down.
I'm not super taken on it just because I'm thinking about this. Because once you do the -2/-2, if you're killing that unit, you
That
now
is
have
the
to make
that is the
and
downside to it.
now you have the then you have to control for your units, so you have to make sure you're keeping that. And I'm gonna mess it up. You think I'm I'm gonna try to play it. I'm gonna do it. I'm like, oh wait, I can't do the second one. That's gonna happen. So I just see that line happening. That's gonna be, you got to make sure you're playing around that.
They need to have 2 more than you.
Yeah, and then now it's like now you're also thinking like I know we're sort of going back into like units with 2 health, but like a lot of units don't really have that 2 health or 2 health remaining as often as you would like. So that's the bummer. And now there are going to be 2 units on there. So now you're just trying to do it to save yourself some damage, or you have to have another thing to remove, like to finish it off. Maybe attack into something.
Yeah, I think a big part of it will be if like these like 3/2 space units continue to be big, like the Lurking Tie, the Phantom, the one that we just read, the P-38, and it's like if then
you're running into an all space deck that's running those types of things.
Yeah, and this could be a good option. You could argue maybe it's even better. The ability to potentially hit 2 could be better than the heal 2 for make an opening. So it's like, in those double blue decks, it could take the space there. But that's the question.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Cool. Flock.
All right, so next up we have Admiral Yularen, a ground unit, a 3-cost cunning heroism.
No.
A 2/2. No, even no. Oh, it's not cunning. What is it? Command. The other C. the other C word.
Double aggression, double red, double villain.
Command.
Double hero.
Command heroes. I'm like, what are you talking about? A 2/5 Republic official with restore 1, and each other friendly unit gets +0/+1. I actually kind of like that. So like, I mean, at 3, a 2/5, so big body, decent damage, and you get the restore 1, and other friendly units get extra health. I think that's pretty good. Like downside is
Pal
like
City when you can just run Yularen.
True. Every unit gets it. Yeah. We'll see how it goes because we all thought that Veers and the donuts were gonna be like really good, and like now it's like I don't think I've seen one in forever. So we'll see how it actually goes when it gets played out. But yeah, I mean it seems pretty solid. Everyone getting extra health and has restore 1.
I mean
the fact that he's a 2/5 makes it so that he's likely to stick on the board for a little bit longer than say like a Veers. Veers suffers from the problem of being a 3-cost that's a 3/3.
Yep.
Yeah, he's especially bad in that regard. He dies like turn 1 plays.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of him. I mean, I think, if he was in the set right now, like I think he's 3 of in Sabine decks. I really like just what he offers, and it also like it protects Sabine from her deploy of pretty much anything that can kill her at 4 resources.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean the 5 health, they're gonna have to commit potentially 2 things, or the thing that would kill Sabine they now have to use on Yularen if they wanted to. I like him a lot. He's gonna be great in the mirror in that deck too. Restore 1. The balance will just be they'll have to look at the Rebel synergy stuff and how much they want to get away from that. But so I mean he seems like a great fit there, and even just other decks like ripping him off Home 1. Even just seems great because you're playing that out, or ripping him off like a Ewing reinforcement because of the things that you also played with it.
Yeah,
get +1.
Oh man, this thing with like a red 3, whew.
Yeah.
You're gonna have a lot of heroes and stuff. It's just like okay, now everything's got raid, and then your red 3 has 1 more health now too. Like,
isn't Shakti? Isn't she a 4-cost that gives all clones like +1 or something? Or she's 4 costs, 3/4. Each friendly token unit gets +1. So it's like if you, I mean, you wouldn't have like if your curve is 2, 3, 4 into that, you're not probably gonna have any tokens unless you're double green and play that double green card. I think, or that might even cost 3. I don't remember. But you're probably not gonna have many clones if you play him on 3 and her on 4.
Yeah.
But it's the idea that they could be giving all your units +1/+1.
Yeah, if you can stack those buffs, then things start to get out of control. I mean, at least Shakti also creates clones.
Hers is on attack, right? She's got to live, yeah.
But if he's on the board, she's a 3/5.
That's true. Yeah.
Which somewhat relevant, but yeah, pretty cool, pretty interesting. He's good unit.
Yes, sir. All right. Next we got Jango Fett, Concealing the Conspiracy. He's a new leader. He's cunning villain and underworld bounty hunter. When a friendly unit deals damage to an enemy unit, you may exhaust this leader. If you do, exhaust that enemy unit. Epic action comes out at 5 as a 3/7, and his leader side says, or leader unit side says, when a friendly unit deals damage to an enemy unit, you may exhaust that unit. So anything like we were talking about the spaceship earlier, pinging the damage when played, exhaust. If you play Overwhelming Barrage and you kill 2 things and you have a leftover damage to do to something, you can ping that thing and then exhaust it. All these just like extra damage, like in red, Seven Sister works with it, Fifth Brother works with it, and then especially on his leader side, if you damage multiple things with like a bombing run or any things like, not that those will necessarily be viable with him, but on his leader side, if you damage everything, you can exhaust everything. His unit side, his leader side is just 1. So to me, he's the best exhaust leader. What that means, I don't know, because the bar's been pretty low between like Thrawn and Mando and stuff.
Yeah.
Whoa! Stop talking about my Mando like that. Coming on my Mando, man.
It's a little telling that he's a 3/7 and not a 4/7 like his
son.
His son.
Yeah.
It's almost like they realized that maybe that stat line on 5-cost heroes or 5-cost leaders is a little aggressive.
Another fire spray deck.
Got another home for fire spray.
Stonk's going up on them.
Yeah, so it was like, could fire spray stocks go up more? Yes, they can now.
They can.
Yeah. I mean, to me, that puts it like, like I don't think Mando's like terrible, but I also don't think he's like that great. But Jango even just having the access to what villain Yellow has on top of fire spray, I think he's just going to fit pretty decent.
For sure.
I mean, the age-old question, is he better than Boba? I don't know. The extra attack, getting extra resources, like that might be better than just exhausting things.
Yeah. That's the problem with every yellow villain that's going to get released while Boba's legal.
Yep. Love the artwork though. Those pistols look sick. They like look huge.
Yeah.
But I kind of like the look of it. Cool.
All right, on to the next
Scott.
one. We got On the Doorstep. It is a 4-cost cunning villainy event, supply tagline, create 3 battle droid tokens and ready them. So for 4 resources, you're getting 3/1/1s that are going to be ready. This obviously is going to combo up with exploit pretty well. Like your opponent's going to have to decide if they want to spend time dealing with those battle droids or if you're going to be able to like sit with them until next round. At the very least, you're going to get 1 usage out of them, so you're going to get to deal 3 damage probably to the base or something along those lines if you need to finish something. So definitely one of those like few events that's starting to this would be great. Coordinate. So
Yeah, definitely would love this in coordinate. But I mean, I think this is a baller card. I mean, they don't interact with it. It's 3 damage to base, and then you play a exploit 3, so you play a 6-drop for free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think it's great. I think it's definitely the type of card that you need to make those types of effects relevant.
Yep, I like it too. Nothing against it.
Cool.
It's gonna be cool in hyperspace.
Yeah, another one that'll look great. Yeah.
No, it's got really cool art. I definitely think they need cards like this. To like, I wouldn't be surprised if we see like a 4-cost version of it that's like create 2, or like maybe a 5-cost version that's like create 2 clone troopers and ready them on the other side. Just whatever would be fair to get the bump in stats. It's a little hard. You can't cost the same necessarily. Or maybe you can. Maybe you can just give something nice and aggressive.
Yeah.
You take that in a lot of you would take a 5-cost version of this that creates 2/2/2s in a lot of decks. Like that's just good in coordinate decks. That's good in aggressive decks. That's just good in a lot of places.
Yeah, especially when they come in ready. It's almost like a burn card that also leaves 2 bodies on the board.
Yeah, so I like this a lot.
Yeah. Cool. Tyler,
All right, next we have Ayla Secura, a ground unit, 5 cost, command, heroism. Give me the command again. Oh. 6/5 Force Jedi Republic with coordinate on attack, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to this unit for this attack. Yeah, that's very good. I kind of like this. As long as you got coordinate, as we talked about, if coordinate's easy to get off, I think a 5/6/5 with Force trait and Jedi trait, being able to prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to it, is pretty good. It's a nice legendary. I just forgot to mention it's a legendary.
Yes, it is.
I didn't realize that when I saw the card.
Yeah. So, yep. Cool hyperspace card too.
All these hyperspaces giving us
Yeah,
more
'cause we just have
lightsabers.
we have so many cool things that are like battle, parts of like the Battle of like Geonosis or other Clone War battles, like just going on in the background. So it makes the card be like, oh, I want to see what the rest of it like. The Invisible Hand is like another one of those ones you like. You just want to see like it blown out. Kit Fisto. Just like, ooh, I want to see the rest of the background.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm curious. Obviously, preventing all damage on that attack is really good. 6/5 is fine. Obviously, you'd like the extra one compared to Anakin and Poe and stuff, but it's nice in the sense that it's like, even if you can't kill the thing, you also don't take anything back. Like Han Solo is really good. The 7-drop in Cunning Heroism, like he's really good, but if he doesn't kill it on the attack, then he, takes his damage back from that. Whereas Ayla is like almost, in a sense, if they have something with 7, 8, whatever health, and you're like, I could deal with that, but also like it'd be nice if my unit stuck around, and Ayla can do that. So they could probably immediately trade back into it, but it at least has her, keeps her around on the board. If it's something that she can actually kill.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I'd like to see them maybe try to push this a little bit further and make it like a 6/4, but actually give it printed ambush. Just to kind of like see if it could be pushed a little bit harder, because it does, it is kind of hard sometimes when you've got like the 5+ cards. They don't do anything right when they come out. Obviously, we've seen like the cards that the stat lines are now getting to the point where it's like, well, I don't care. They're still going to stick around, and she might be that. But would have liked to have seen how much they could have tweaked the card to really kind of like leverage that on attack ability.
Yeah.
But 6 attack is nothing to shake a stick at.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, it definitely falls in the category, like you said, of when you start to get to 5, that's when it's like, all right, I want something to happen. And there's a chance it couldn't, because it's not like it's coordinate. She can't take any damage. It's just on attack for that. So they could definitely hit into her with something. Yeah, I mean, we're starting to see, like you said, stat lines pretty pushed. And then even just like a buffed attack with something smaller could get her, pretty easy. So it's as good as Poe is. If you don't use him with ECL, he's like, I've noticed how mid he can kind of feel at times. And then the only other time I like him is in Han 2, because I can play him for 4 as a 6/4.
Yeah.
Which is, losing to 2 health is totally fine at that point. So as good as Poe is, it's like I don't think she's as good as him, and Poe's just kind of felt mid in some other areas. So hope she doesn't fall into that.
Yep. I mean, she's got much more relevant traits than Poe.
Yeah. Have we seen, though, like...
Have we seen that much that triggers off Jedi or Republic? No, actually.
Yeah, that's what... So Jedi, the only thing I can think of is Jedi is the blade.
We keep saying the relevant traits, but...
Yeah.
They
and some of the
be
Republic ones
traits.
we've seen like aren't even that crazy. Like it was like that 2-drop get Sentinel, the 03, that when it dies, it creates a clone trooper token. But if there's another Republic unit gets Sentinel, like there was a Tranquility and stuff like that. And like Padme can draw Republic cards, but even like, Padme is not writing home for that. Like, scrolling through, like, there's some smaller ones, like the 501st Liberators. When played, if you control another Republic, you can heal 3 damage from a base. So, like, there's some smaller things, but I don't know. There's not like any crazy synergy yet. Maybe you probably argue the best one is the Fleet Lieutenant of
The
Republic.
The
Yeah.
Republic tactical officer.
Yeah.
The clone that's not a clone.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. But yeah, Jedi's been, I think, only on that General's Blade so far.
Yeah, you might be right about that.
And then nothing new of Force, I don't think. So it's still like Force Throw, still Mystic Reflection, still Force is with me, still Jedi Lightsaber.
Yeah.
Which obviously are all good cards, but also Ayla's not in any of those colors. She's not blue
No.
or red. So she needs those colors splashed into that. So, all right. On the next one. This one is me. 2-cost ground unit, aggression, clone heavy gunner. 1 attack, 3 health, Republic clone trooper, relevant traits, But as coordinate, this unit gets +2/+0. So it can be a 2-drop 3/3 if you have coordinate out. But this seems like an extremely annoying game to try to keep him as a 3/3. They're just going to pick off your smaller stuff, and now you're just sitting here with this 1/3 that they'll probably get to trade in for free or just not even care about it. So, I mean, obviously he's not meant to be good. He's single aspect, common, turn 2. You don't want him necessarily competing with the Battlefield Marines and the Sabine Wrens of the world, but he's looking pretty rough.
Yeah, this is a limited card only.
Yep. Let's say draft.
Yep. Cool. I guess I'll just read the next, since they're out of order. If you guys just want to scroll through the unlimited spoilers channel in our Discord, because these are the ones that are not on the database yet.
Yep.
So we got a 3-cost ground unit, General Grievous, Vigilance Villainy. He's a trophy collector. 4 attack, 4 health, Separatist official. Ignore the aspect penalty on each lightsaber upgrade you play on this unit. On attack, if this unit has 4 or more lightsaber upgrades attached to him, defeat 4 enemy units. And he's a legendary. Another fantastic artwork. Absolutely love this design for Grievous. He looks sick holding all those lightsabers out. On attack is hilarious, just defeating space or ground or leaders or anything. Obviously, it has to be insane because the requirement's insane.
You get 4 lightsabers on someone, that you deserve it. Living the dream.
You're also probably just doing 15 to base on his
Yeah, so it's just you're just and I'm going to the face because what? What would be the minimum attack to have having 4 lightsabers on you? The minimum attack that he could have would be.
I mean, they're all at least 3 attack, I think, except for Mace Windu's.
Mace Windu's is +2. So, we're talking 15. He'd be 15.
Yeah.
Hey, just 2 spot someone because you're gonna clear the board at that point too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, someone's gonna live that dream. But here's the kicker. Here's the best thing about this. He's still a really good unit if he's blank.
Yep.
Because he's a 3-cost 4/4.
He's official.
And Separatist. And I mean,
those are
good keywords.
I will say the Separatist one I care more than Republic at times because Dooku has some interesting play lines given exploit to Separatist. So, Fantasy Dream World, you could open with Vanguard Infantry, give it exploit, or give Grievous exploit 1, and then sack that, play him for 1. So that's, your first experience with Vanguard Infantry, your other
start playing your lightsabers.
So now you have a turn 1 5/5 General Grievous.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I hear that's pretty good. I hear turn 1 5/5 is pretty good.
Yeah, and even if it's not Vanguard Infantry, even if it's just another 1 drop, it's still a turn 1 4/4 is very good. Granted, it was 2 cards to do that, but that gets me. It's
going to take your opponent some time your opponent's going to have to take 2 cards to deal with that, usually, depending. I mean, obviously, don't do that until Power of the Dark Side, but your opponent's going to probably have to take 2 units to take care of that, and you're going to hit the base twice?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And official, if it ends up being, I mean, if Dooku runs Royal Guards too, you could get the magic play of the Vanguard Infantry and Grievous turn 1 for a 5/5 and then drop the Vanguard.
If Dooku wasn't I'm surprised Dooku isn't an official. Does he count?
Is he just Separatist?
He's a separatist.
Yeah.
For separatist Sith.
Gotcha.
If he was an official, I would say Royal Guards would get running that, but
yeah, now you're.
Honestly, I was also just thinking about this would be a good pull for Vader too.
That's what I was just about to say. Yeah, he's perfectly fine.
A 3-4-4. I think that's fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah, no, he's really good. He's a legendary. He's going to be probably one of the more expensive legendaries in the set because of how good he is.
Yep.
Yeah, he
The
just kind of
hyperspace
fits the.
is going to be amazing too.
The what?
Hyperspace is going to be amazing too.
Dude, more lightsaber. His lightsabers are getting cut off, man. I need more of them.
Right? Yeah.
What was I even gonna say? Something about Vader. So, the comparison to legendary. Like, I think he's a similar mold of like Kylo Ren's. The 3/2, like, it's just a good card. The text is pretty much blank for most decks, but like you still run it because it's just great value for the arena that it's in. Okay, It actually got devalued because they printed a blank or an aspect list 3/2, but I don't think they'll print an aspect list 4/4 separatist official. So Grievous has some room to grow. Next one, also going on the play of Grievous, is a zero-cost event, Vigilance Villainy, a fine addition. It's a supply event. And if an enemy unit was defeated this phase, play an upgrade from your hand or from any player's discard pile, ignoring its aspect penalty. It's rare. Probably not a good card outside of the decks that want to go all in on trying to get Grievous going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta agree with that. I mean, it's a little like you gotta have an upgrade in your hand or in discard pile. Your opponent could also have it, but like how much you're gonna count on your opponent having upgrades that are relevant to play. You gotta defeat an enemy unit. It's definitely for like you trying to live the dream with Grievous, which hey, that's a cool dream. So try and live it. Live your best life.
Yeah. It is interesting that you can do any upgrade, but it's also like funny that Grievous just wants lightsabers too. So it's like even if you steal something, it could not benefit. Like there's a chance it doesn't benefit.
Yeah.
Grievous's a bit like to me, like I was joking about last night at our draft, like stealing a darksaber, but like that's not even a lightsaber. So
no, annoyingly enough, it is not.
So it doesn't count towards his own attack. You still can ignore the aspect because of the event saying you can, but
yep.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going that Grievous route, you'll take whatever you can get to keep that Grievous on the table.
Yes. And then play every regional governor so you can call Fell the Dragons and Rivals Fall and Power of the Dark Side.
Yeah.
Prevent him from just getting destroyed by that. Cool. Next up, we got a 2-cost event, Synchronized Strike. It's a tactic, it's command, it's heroism. Deal damage to an enemy unit equal to the number of units you control in its arena. It's an uncommon. Great artwork as always, having all the Jedis on there. And it's Akbar. That costs 1 less than his event. And doesn't leave a 1/4 body with Restore 1 behind.
So you're saying it's better than Akbar?
I mean, it's hard to say. Like, obviously, like, being able to go down 1 to, like, play 2 cards a turn and this being one of them, like, just the flexibility of that is nice. But also, like,
Akbar also synergizes with himself.
Yeah, like, you play him and he counts towards it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, it's
Akbar,
not a bad thing to have in your pocket, I suppose, especially if we're going to see boards that go wider. I mean, you could run Strike True instead of this, like in that same vein, but this is a little bit different.
Yeah.
I think it's more of a limited play card, though.
Yeah, which is surprising. Like a lot of the double aspect events in general have been like at least tried to be geared towards Premier, but this one just kind of feels a little bit more lackluster. So we'll move on. Then we have Clone Commander Cody, 5-cost ground unit, just command, and he's commanding the 212th. 4 attack, 4 health, Republic, clone, trooper. He has Overwhelm, and then coordinate. Each other friendly unit gets +1/+1 and gains Overwhelm. He's an uncommon. 5 for 4/4 is not exciting in the slightest, but if that coordinate is on, giving every friendly unit +1/+1, not just clones, not just heroism, not just anything
Yeah,
like that.
it's the fact that the dark side can get a little bit of a coordinate play with this, and it seems like the dark side is going to be more able to create more battle droids.
Yeah.
And the battle droids have overwhelm, if that matters.
For
Probably
2 attack,
shouldn't,
probably, yeah. Probably not, unless you're playing against another battle droid deck, and now
Yeah.
your battle
then
droids.
you're just mopping them up.
Yeah.
No, I like that he is only command. I think it's a little weird for some of the Jedi that they're only single aspect, but I think for Clone Commander Cody, it makes a lot of sense because obviously, with the way his storyline worked out, he did execute Order 66.
He did. And probably moments after this, too. I mean, I can't tell if this is if it's all new to power or not.
Yeah.
Like, it almost kind of looks like it's Geonosis in the background, but I also don't remember, was there any artwork or anything from, I mean, I guess
Yeah,
he
I
was
also don't.
there.
I don't know if Cody. I mean, I don't know if Cody was there.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, he probably has been on Geonosis before in his
He
life.
could have been for the second battle. Wasn't Obi-Wan for there on the second battle? Yeah, because, yeah, Obi and Anakin and Ki-Adi-Mundi did that, like, 3-pronged attack on Geonosis.
Yeah.
So it could be from that in the Clone Wars. Artwork is fantastic. I love this. He looks so
did
good.
participate in the second battle of Geonosis. He was
Sorry.
not there.
That makes sense. And also this disproves shade to Inception from Garbage Rollers. He said pack art has been leaders, but after he said that, I pointed out that set 1 Chewbacca artwork was not the artwork for the Chewie leader. So there's still a chance that we could get a Cody leader, just not with his artwork. But this was on one of the packs, and he's not a leader. God, I really wish he was like a 3/5 or something. It's just 4 health, man, on a 5-drop. It scares me.
I feel like he could have been a 4 or 5.
Yeah, even that. I was trying to be generous and still keeping the 8 stat line, but I feel like he could have been a 4/5, and he'd been all right.
Yep.
Yep. Sometimes like these units that are always like give friendly units +1/+1, it just makes them the target, and then that's all you're going. And then that only has 4 health. It's like that can go down. If you're talking 5 resources, turn 4, this is probably going down the turn you probably played, or they're gonna take initiative and just kill it right away.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yep.
Yeah, I think his stat line could have been pushed a little bit more so that he would be outside of the swimming range of full cost units.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we even saw like other 5-drops be like Wedge is a 5/5. Granted, his only buffed vehicles, but like I feel like his issue wasn't that it only buffed vehicles; it was almost that he just like was slow and died to a lot of things, and he has one more point of health than Cody. So.
Yep. I think it only buffing vehicles also matters a little bit because that makes it slower.
Yeah, you almost need. I mean, I guess nobody's revisited since then, and I guess Hero didn't really get like a crazy lot of new ones.
No, Hero didn't get like didn't get like a lurking TIE Phantom analog where all of a sudden you're like vehicle only.
Yeah, and Villain also got triple Dark Raid, whereas Hero did not get
Raid.
something like that.
Yeah.
Hero, short end of the stick. Poor Wedge.
Yeah. Poor Wedge, my favorite character, just stuck in the binder.
Yeah. I remember like the first week you came and play tested games, you're like, I want to play a Wedge deck. I was like, all right, here you go. And then like the first thing after was like, all right, maybe Wedge should come out, but I'll still play Leia. All right, on to the last 2 that we got. Probably burned through both these pretty quick, but it's a 2-cause ground unit, just heroism, phase 1 clone trooper, a 3/2 Republic clone trooper. It's a common. Sure. Yeah, it's probably pretty good in draft, just having a 3/2.
Yeah.
With those traits and stuff, but I just... Obviously, he shouldn't be a 3/3 because, he's only single aspect, but it's... I mean, I guess the trade-off is like, you look at Viper Probe Droid is like a 3/2. I know that gets to look at an opponent's hand, which is, the knowledge is nice, but its traits don't really matter, whereas these ones could more. It's probably the trade-off between... like those 2. I almost kind of wish I could look at an opponent's hand, though, rather than just have a clone trait. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see the card. I don't know where the card is.
It's in the spoiler chat. It's above Yularen, if you scroll up.
Above Yularen?
But it's just a 2-cost heroism 3/2 Republic Clone Trooper blank text. So it's a 3/2 for 2.
Oh, those ones. Okay.
Yeah. And then the next one, as we see, is the Phase 2 Clone Trooper. Same thing.
Yeah.
3 cost ground unit, just heroism, 3 attack, 2 health. Republic Clone Trooper, but it has ambush. And that also kind of feels terrible. 3 cost, 3/2 ambush.
It's probably
Relevant
not
for
surviving whatever
draft. Relevant
ambush
for
into.
limited.
It's just, I guess for me, it's like half frustrating that Cloud Rider is a single cunning aspect, and that's a 3/1
Yeah, that's fair.
with ambush. And also an underworld trait that paired really well with a leader that does extra damage from playing underworld cards.
Yeah.
So it was a 2 cost that could, if only 1 unit was on the board, could snipe a 4 cost.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Whereas this sad boy cost 3.
Very sad boy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's like, all right, it could be like half okay if you have like Cody out and coordinates on and things like that, and he gets a +1/+1 and overwhelm, and like maybe Shock T's out or something. Or, you know, these other things, all these other cards need to be in your deck to make him like feel playable, and they also need to be on the board for him to feel playable, which means he's not very playable.
Yularen gets +1 health. Now we're looking at a 3/3 with ambush.
I care more about the attack on ambush, probably.
Yeah.
No, yeah. So I mean, yeah, it'll be fine in draft, very likely. But other than that, it's probably not. And I think that wraps it up. It indeed does. So that's all our spoilers for this week.
Woo.
We're ramping up. Gonna try to not all be in bed before we get on and do this, and try to remember to schedule it so we all remember that we're doing this. But
I was ready.
We'll see.
Flock was on the ball.
Some of these coming weeks, maybe Flock might be the one recording. Maybe we'll pass him up while I'm away for a wedding. It'll be Flock's time to shine.
Let's
Man,
go.
got a bunch of those coming up.
Yeah. One all the way in Nashville. Well, right outside Nashville, but flying into Nashville. But anyways, not the point. But yeah, appreciate everybody following us. Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, all those things. We're always posting and retweeting all the spoilers as soon as we get them. So they are up there on our socials, ready to be seen. I think we just broke 1,500 on Twitter, which is pretty cool. And I think we're like right at 2.5 on YouTube. So we're getting some steady increases, which is fun to see. And very excited for the set. We just drafted set 2 last night. I'm ready for set 3 draft. Very, very excited.
Yep, let's go.
Yeah, I'm really getting bored of drafting the same set.
Well, that's because you draft the same character in 30 cards each time.
Yep.
You could have stopped it. You were next to him.
Yeah.
I think the one draft I had like 5 Mandalorian warriors in my deck or something like that.
I pulled Hondo. I was like, I haven't played with Hondo like all set. I want to play with him. And I was like, dang it, I should have just hate drafted Flock because I passed to you twice. So I could have taken them all. But anyways, appreciate y'all tuning in, and we will catch y'all next time. Deuces.
See ya.